Very much, Asuma, for providing context on that story. We now move on once again, and this time over to the Indo-Pacific, where the Philippines and Australia are moving towards a new defence agreement set to be signed next year, aimed at boosting military cooperation in the region. The pact will enable more joint military drills and strengthen defence infrastructure in the Philippines across 5 locations. Philippine Defense Minister Gilberto Teodoro said China's recent activities have widened its deficit and trust and are a matter of concern and condemnation. He added that while the Philippines cannot control China's unilateral actions, deterrence is essential. Teodoro also called these moves gross violations of international law, noting strong security relations with the US. China has also announced interim measures to control rare earth mining, smelting and separation. Now for this story, we are joined by William Yang, who's a China analyst, and he joins us live from Taipei, Taiwan, to discuss this in further detail. William, pleasure to have you on the program. How significant, William, will this defence pact be once it is signed next year, and how will this influence the region and the defence over China further?
Yeah, I think this is an important step for the Philippines' ongoing efforts to strengthen and deepen defense and security related cooperation and partnerships with like-minded countries in the region, especially beyond the United States. I think, we always know that the US has been a treaty ally for the Philippines for decades, and since the Biden administration a couple years ago, they have deepened their cooperations with the Philippines, opening up port access in the northern part of the country. But I think at the same time, the Philippines recognize that it's not enough to only rely on the United States. It does need to diversify its defense-related partnership in order to reduce the risk of only relying heavily on one partner. So we've seen the Philippines and Japan deepen their security and defense-related cooperations, and now with Australia offering similar helps, this is going to be a big boost to the Philippines' overall efforts to modernize its military and defense capabilities. And I think it's definitely a welcomed step for Manila, which continues to face constant aggression and coercion coming from the Chinese side across several different reefs in the South China Sea.
Yes, William, Philippine Defense Minister Gilberto Teodoro has called China's recent activities a deficit of trust and a matter of concern and condemnation. What activities is he talking about here?
I believe the defense minister is referring to the ongoing interception that the Chinese Coast Guard and navies have been conducting against Philippine vessels that are either conducting resupply missions to either Scarborough Shoal or Second Thomas Shoal to support and continue to provide supplies to the Philippine personnel stationed on those 2 disputed reefs. We have witnessed repeated collisions and confrontations between vessels from the 2 sides in recent years. And one of the most recent incidents, in fact, happened when a Chinese Coast Guard vessel accidentally collided with one of the Chinese Navy's vessel in a high-speed chasing episode against a Philippine vessel. And that, I think, highlighted again the level of the aggression that the Chinese side is applying to these incidents and try to intercept and try to deter the Philippines from conducting these resupply missions. But I think with the support of like-minded allies of conducting joint drills and also joint patrols in similar regions, I think this is the tactic that the Philippines is counting on, and at the same time continuing to video document all of these incidents with the Chinese so that they can actually share evidence and continue to help to push their side of the narrative and also their side of the evidence with the international community. But at the same time, we're seeing also the Chinese side releasing videos more and more on a frequent basis. And I think going back to the talk about deficit, what I think the defense minister is talking about is how the Chinese behaviors are contradicting the Chinese narratives from the government, saying that they are committed to upholding peace and stability in the region, but their actions oftentimes are undermining that or at least contradicting these rhetorics.
William Yang, thank you very much. Pleasure to get that insight. Thank you very much for taking the time and speaking to us here on NewsX World. Well, that is all that we